7th Street Theater.
It's different. It's not necessarily the
And providentially on.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Arias-Wicker with Christian Movie Connect. Today we've got a great interview for you with DeVon Franklin of Columbia Pictures. Well, DeVon, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm just so excited to hear about your movies. I know you've got a really big movie coming up. I've already seen the trailers too.
Good, yes. Jumping the Broom. It'll be in theaters May 6th, right in time for Mother's Day. The movie is awesome. It's produced by Bishop T.D. Jakes and Tracy Edmonds. It stars Angela Bassett and Paula Patton, Laz Alonso from the new hit A&E show Breakout Kings. It also has Loretta Devine, Julie Bowen from Modern Family. I mean, an all-star cast. It's about two different families. One's upper class, the other one is working class, and they all meet for the first time at a weekend wedding in Martha's Vineyard. And when the bride and groom say "I do," all craziness breaks out. And it's a movie that'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and it will inspire you.
Yeah. Well, it looks really, really funny, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, T.D. Jakes has done quite a few films now, hasn't he? Which number is this for him?
This is his third film, but it's our second film together. His first film was Woman Thou Art Loose, which he did through Fox. And then his second film was Not Easily Broken. And then the third film is Jumping the Broom.
Okay. Well, now, you have risen very fast up the ranks, and you had a very interesting start. You started as an intern for Will Smith, is that right?
Yes, I was started as an intern for a management company that he worked at, he and his partner, James Lassiter. And they have always been amazing to me and moved up from intern to assistant. And, you know, I met Will and James, about 15 years ago. And it was a blessing that through a course of events that I talk about in the book that we'll get into, God led me from being intern to an assistant, and then now I'm at Sony, and Sony makes all their movies. So now I'm like the executive that works on most of their films. So it's just a blessing how God works everything out.
What do you think it was that's helped you to find success in your career? Like what core values do you hold as you do your work that's made you successful?
The number one, key to success has been faith, for sure. Having to realize that I'm here to serve a purpose. I'm here in this business because God has placed me here, and I have to put him in what I'm pursuing, put him first. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. So that faith and in knowing that I'm following his will, number one. Number two is really committing to the process of success. A lot of times we are interested in success, but when you're interested in something, you're not committed to it. Committing, and no matter how long it takes, no matter what happens, staying the course and never giving up on the dream and the purpose in my life. The third thing is being a student. No matter how much success someone may have, I always have to be a student of the industry and always realize that there's so much more to learn, so many more people to learn, so many more lessons to learn. And also the littlest things, paying attention to detail. It's about the small things. It's the small things that matter. And sometimes we get a tendency to look over, I don't need to make sure this is good or that. No. It's those little itty bitty things that really matter the most, and to never give up on those small details, because the details are ultimately what contribute to long-term success.
Yeah. Well, you're a pastor also, so when did that part come about?
Well, I started preaching when I was 16 and, got ordained at the church that I belong to in the Bay Area, my early 20s. And, I just go and preach the word wherever there's an invitation. I'm excited about getting the word out there. Working in Hollywood has been great because it gives me a real world experience that then I can use that to translate the gospel. And doing that, it gives me joy and it energizes me, to be able to take what I do 9 to 5 during the week and then compare that and combine it with what the word is saying, and then have a relevant and timely message for those that are in attendance at those services means more to me than anyone will know. And I'm just excited about preaching the word, excited about being I'm just excited about it all.
And that's good. That's a great way to be. Well, some people might think that it's maybe an oxymoron to be a Christian in Hollywood, but to be a pastor in Hollywood, would be surprising to some people. But how do you mix your faith and your career in Hollywood?
Part of it is not looking at them as two separate endeavors, and looking at it as one. I am who God has made me to be, which is a mixture of faith, which is a mixture of business, which is a mixture of ministry. It's all in there, so not looking at it as two independent paths, but ultimately a part of the path that God has lined out. And in looking at it that way, it actually has allowed me to be comfortable and confident in who God has made me, and to not worry about any sort of label or being put in any sort of box. I'm in the box God has already set out. So whatever that box looks like, and whoever wants to write on the box a label, God bless them. But ultimately, I feel very comfortable and confident in what he's having me do.
Well, now you've written a book.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that book.
Yes, the book is called Produced by Faith. Yes. And it's about how you can enjoy real success without compromising your true self. It's a lesson that I have come to learn. I've really, I believe, discovered the secret to success, and it lies within the values and virtues that we're taught in the church. The book is broken into 2 sections, production and development. A lot of times we want to get in production in our life, but we're not in production yet because God has more things he wants to develop in us. He wants to develop our character. He wants to develop our integrity. He wants to develop our patience. Just like any script. Any movie that you ultimately see that gets to the theaters, it went to production because it went through development first. And so I talk about the movie business, and I parallel the movie making process with the process God will take us through to make our lives a success and a hit.
Okay, very good. Well, as a filmmaker and taking those things in account, what is it that you look for when you're making a film? And how do you decide whether you found something that is really worth you investing your life in?
Everything starts with a great story. Finding a story that just motivates you, that is riveting, that a story you can't put down really is what it's about. And part of also is like looking at it and saying, okay, is this commercial? Is there an audience for this movie? Characters, reading characters that you just connect with, that you root for. A dialogue, is a great dialogue. A lot of times you can get a movie that's okay and the dialogue is not that great, but when you read a script and there's great dialogue and great characters and a great concept, those 3 things really make you say, okay, we got to get this one.
Well, I'm sure that we've got many great more films ahead that you're
Yes.
going to be putting out, and we just so much
so.
Enjoyed getting the chance to get to know you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and I'm going to go see your movie.
Please, yes, Jumping the Broom May
Okay,
6th.
Jumping the Broom.
And Produced by Faith on May 3rd.
Thanks for joining us on Christian Movie Connect. We'll see you next week.